Hey everybody, Brock Frady here, helping you enjoy your ride. Today's video, we're going to take a look at that 2018 Honda Civic Si Sedan. It's a fun car, it shifts fast, it's a manual. We're going to take a look at the inside, the outside, the specs. We're going to push all the buttons inside, although there aren't that many. And by the end of this video, I think you'll know a good amount more about the Civic Si than when you first started. The first thing that I noticed about the Si are the big grates that are in the front. You see that where the fog light is? And they're in the back. Now I've seen some reviewers get all bent out of shape about those big grates that you have in the front and rear bumpers, but I actually like them. I'm really all about sharp edges and all the angles and everything on cars. Even if they don't serve as a function, I just think they look cool. And then there's the issue of that exhaust tip. And I said issue, I shouldn't have said issue. That exhaust tip is fantastic. Big single trapezoidal. This is a bigger car than I thought. You know, I was always thinking about a small little Civic, you know, just a little basic Honda. But this thing has really grown up. It's got tons of standard features, which is why you really can't get any optional features on it. They come all standard with these sweet 18-inch wheels. This one has Goodyear all season Eagle Sport 235 40 R18, and you see M plus S right there, and that means mud and snow, which proves that they are all season. These are bigger brakes than on a regular Civic because this one is the Si, so beefier brakes. And this one has the nitrogen in the tires. And there's a wheel lock. I think that's probably one of the optional pieces of equipment on the Si. You can also see that that front brake rotor is ventilated. There is a portion along the center of that brake rotor that allows air to pass through the middle of it to keep that front brake cooler. That's a precaution for more spirited driving. And back here on the back, you also have 235 40/18 so that the tires match. They're not staggered, so you can rotate them. That's convenient. Brakes are slightly smaller on the back than they are in the front, which is the case for most cars. And it's a solid disc brake in the back. If you've watched many of my videos, you probably know that I'm also a big fan of big lights. And I love the big fat lights on this thing. Fender, the bumper skin right there, and then brake light. Fender, bumper skin, brake light. Kind of like wraps around. Look at that, it's like a C. You see that? For Civic. And then the other one is a backwards C for Civic. SI badging there, synonymous with fantastic Honda awesomeness. The spoiler is really cool, adds a little bit of a flare there. I love the look of a spoiler. Engine sounds really good. I love the acceleration of this thing. It doesn't feel like it has just over 200 horsepower. The torque is absolutely beautiful. Hardly any turbo lag to speak of at all. The torque is really at a low RPM. I mean, it's like pow, boom, boom. It kicks. It has like a 6,500 RPM red line, but it's almost like you have to shift a little bit before that red line. It's kind of like the red line is not actually really the right place to shift it at. And that's kind of throwing me off because you feel the torque just pour on real fast and then it kind of levels out and you've not even gotten to the red line yet. That would take me some getting used to. It's almost like you have to go more by the feel and the sound than you do trusting your gauges at all. It's kind of a cool experience though. Oh, got second. Shark fin antenna. Everybody's doing it. Let's take a look at the key fob. You have lock on top, unlock below that, trunk button, and panic alarm. On the back of it, you have your cool little Honda emblem embedded there, and then you have a little lever here, and when you push that down, this whole silver part at the bottom is going to pull out. And there's a physical key inside of there, and that allows you to use that physical key inside the keyhole of the driver's door handle there in the event that the battery in the key fob should die on you. In order to operate it, I'm going to make sure the doors are locked. You can approach it and just grab the door handle, and boom, it unlocks. Now this one was set to unlock all 4 doors, and so you're good to go. You hop in, you do what you got to do, you're finished using it, and then you can walk away because it'll lock automatically. Did you hear that? It locked automatically because I was a few feet away from it, or you can press that and it'll lock it as well. That's a pretty cool system. I love that walk away feature. And now let's take a look at the heart of the beast. The latch is going to be just to the left of the Honda emblem. My finger's on it. You can see it's right there. And I know it's a cost-saving thing, but I wish all manufacturers would support their hoods with shocks and get rid of those little arms. I don't know, that's just me. Here is your Earth Dreams turbocharged 4-cylinder, cool little engine. Great low-end torque. And I love how Honda hasn't covered it all up by putting all these big covers on it that usually, for the most part, those covers are for sound insulating anyways. And for an SI driver, you're not going to want the sound of the engine all muted. And battery is in the back, and I have a feeling that they've moved that all the way back as far as they can against the firewall for better weight distribution. Every little bit makes a difference. You've got fuses and relay box right there. Brake fluid all back there. A little bit of an air intake. Check out where your windshield washer fluid is located. And you know, things are located a little differently on this Civic engine than they are on other vehicles that I've done. But you can tell everything has a definite purpose. It's pretty cool how they've located all this stuff. You see those lines under the hood? They almost look like dents. See that right there? Those could potentially save your life. Those are called crumple zones. In the event of a severe front collision, those are going to crumple and cause the hood to fold in on itself and to keep that big old piece of metal from coming into the cabin area. Here's something that I always do to test the back seat of every car. I adjusted the front seat to my comfort level, and I'm over 6 feet tall, so that's going to be probably be a pretty tight fit. Check it out. That is not too shabby. You know, my knees rub, but that's not bad. And you can see the amount of room that I would need to sit up there and drive. It's actually pretty impressive. And then you've got your fantastic blue polka dotted socks there. The flavor of the day. I like the yellow heel of these. And then the green top. These are really, really good socks. They also pretty much go with anything as well. And they match my blue shirt. The red stitching there, that is Civic Si approved. And the material here is, it's soft, but it's also going to be super durable, it feels like. Power windows, power door locks. Kind of a brushed looking aluminum look for that door handle. Nice and plain, nothing super fancy, but it's not trying to be super fancy. For the driver's door, power windows, power door locks, you've got your front windows that are automatic, one touch up and down, power in the back. And then there's a button right here where you can lock access to all the windows, lock and unlock of the doors, power mirror controls for passenger and driver. You got a little trunk button there that you can pop your power trunk. I am in love with the seat. You can see that the bolstering, look how high that bolster goes. And it's really nice because it's not overdone, but it's really thick and supportive. This is really strong bolstering. That portion on the inside of the seat, it almost looks like, from a distance at first glance, it almost looks like carbon fiber. But that's a really cool, nice, firm, good seat. I like it. Side impact airbags there inside the seat. Side airbags there in the back. Of course, I would imagine that you're going to have side impact airbags right there in the front to keep you nice and safe. Yeah, the front seat is really, really nice. I can feel the bolsters there on my sides. I can feel them a little bit on my shoulders, but I'm holding this, you know, camera stabilizer thing. But it feels really good. It's nice and comfy. If you were much bigger than me, I'm kind of skinny, then you would actually feel the bolstering more than I do right now, because I can kind of feel it on both sides, but it actually is really nice. It's going to be supportive when you're throwing this thing in and around curves. Now to start it up, as long as you have the key fob on your person, put your foot on the clutch, foot on the brake, tap the start button. She fires right up. I love that intro. You see the little lights and all that stuff. Steering wheel audio controls are over here on the left. You also have Bluetooth, voice commands, and then you have enter and the up and down multi-directional keypad. And then on the right side of the steering wheel, you have your cruise control. Nice little stalk there for your windshield wipers. And then of course your turn signal stalk over here on the left. And it does have that cool little 3-blink lane changing feature. Tap it once and it'll blink 3 times either way to let you change lanes. That way you don't risk leaving your signal on riding down the highway. Also, whenever I just tapped it up to the right, check out the screen, how it transitions over into the lane view system. You see that? So you can press that so you can see exactly what's in that right lane. That is so good for removing the blind spot when you're trying to change lanes over to the right. Over on the left side here, you see traction control off. That's where you can disable your traction control. You have that kind of carbon fiber composite look on that trim there underneath your air vent. And I like that look all about the dash. It's on several portions of the dash. That's got a pretty cool slick look there. But your gauges right here are typical Honda. You've got a big tachometer and your digital speedometer there in the middle. We're going to use this multi-directional keypad and we're going to press it down. So there's audio, and it's going to go through all the different audio modes. I really like this feature here called brake hold. When you press brake hold, this icon right here is on the dash on the right side, and it says hold underneath it. That means it's holding the brake for me, so I don't have to keep my foot on the clutch or anything. I can just put it in neutral, keep the and when I come to a complete stop, this will automatically engage and hold the brake for me until the light turns green or whatever I need to do. And then you've got your parking brake right here, and so whenever you pull it up, it will apply the brake, and then when you push it down, it will deactivate the brake. And here's your backup camera. Reverse is located, in my opinion, where it's supposed to be, to the far right. Moves with the steering wheel, and you can see that I just put those lines right inside the, I'm a little bit off, but you can put the lines right inside the space there, and boom, you're in there straight. You've got a kind of a big wide view, a better view, which I like, and then a straight down view. So you can see exactly where you are in conjunction with the sidewalk. Now let's take a look at the infotainment system. One of the very first things that I need to address about this touchscreen system is the fact that Honda does not have a volume knob. And you see that? It's not actually, I'm trying to cut it down, I swear. So you got to be pretty precise. You can see what just happened there. So technically, you can move it up and down. We'll try to do that. It not working very well there, or you can do that. So that's kind of a source of contention amongst Honda people. They want their volume button back. You can see here it says low in the upper corners of the touchscreen, and that's our climate system. So you can move that around and it will actually change the temperature. One of the other things is the response time of the system is not the fastest. And that's, you know, that's okay. You just kind of got to get used to it. When you press audio, you can see all of the different things that come up. I like how you can see right here, it has the different radio settings, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and you can press that and it'll go to 1 through 6. But I like how you actually have a little bit of a title there of what is exactly inside of that number, 1 through 12, so you can see by number very quickly what is on that memorized station. Then you can push that screen up and it will show you all of your presets, or it'll show right now XM radio by category, by channel, and by preset. Then I can use these arrows to go up and down within those settings, or I can hit that little pointed portion and it'll drop the screen down and give me specifics about the actual channel that it's on right now. I can go back home and I can press info, and this is going to be trip information, voice, clock, all that, trip history, current drive, not really gone that far, HondaLink, that is a subscription-based service, phone. I want to focus on settings. Let's go vehicle here. TPMS is tire pressure monitor system calibration, meter setup, keyless access setup. So this is actually where you can change all kinds of different things about your key. So remember when I showed you how the key fob works, that it unlocked all the doors when I approached it? There it is. We can hit back and go back there. And I'm not going to change anything about the current driver's settings because he has it set up specifically how he wants it. I love all the lighting setup. So this is how you can change all kinds of different things, even about the lights. Auto light sensitivity, it has automatic headlights that cut on whenever it starts to get dark. Well, that's based on a sensor that's in the front of the vehicle, and I can adjust that sensitivity right there so that the headlights cut on sooner or later according to what I have set here. That's really cool. Auto interior illumination sensitivity, man, that's pretty technically cool. Can you see what I'm talking about the touch sensitivity of that screen? You got to kind of get used to it. And what I think I need to do is just maybe press it down for a little longer, so you probably have greater accuracy if you push and hold for just a second. Auto headlight on with wiper on. So when your wipers cut on, your headlights will automatically come on. That's pretty cool. So this essentially allows you to really configure the Civic according to very, very specific things that you want to do. Look at all the different audio sources that you have. AM, FM, of course, Sirius, USB, Bluetooth, iPod, Pandora, and you have a calculator. That's just cool. Then you've got a little bitty guy sticking up right here, and you can press that, and that's going to be able to control the brightness of your screen. Climate control system, a couple of big knobs right there. You're going to push auto right there. If you want to set the auto system at a certain temperature, you can press auto, and then you can adjust it to whatever temperature you want to adjust it to. And so right now I just adjusted it to 72. So with auto enabled, it's going to maintain the cabin temperature at 72 degrees. This is a feature that I use all the time. I just put my car on auto and I let it do the rest. It just maintains that cabin temperature. I don't have to mess with it. Really nice. On and off. Recirculate, front defrost, rear defrost, and there's side mirror defrost. That's really nice. 3 level heated seat controls, high, medium, low, off. And then sync, it does have dual zone climate control. That's really, really nice, so that the passenger can control their side. You see this cable sticking out right here? This is a lightning cable for an iPhone, and right there. And so what you can do is actually you can kind of feed the iPhone cable or your Android device cable down here, and it's going to feed it down into a hole. And you actually have room for a really big device right here. So this is going to fit pretty much anything. And then right there is where that goes to. So you can see the cable here, and then it goes to a USB port here. And then you've got, of course, a power outlet. That's the lighter adapter all right there. Cup holders, nice little configuration here. You can actually slide that out of the way. That is so cool. And that's going to be for a big cup. So if you have a gigantic, massive cup. Okay, everybody, that's going to do it for our look at the 2018 Honda Civic Si. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. I would love to hear from you. Also, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this with your friends who you think might enjoy the video as much as you did. I would love an opportunity to connect with you on Facebook, HowToCarGuy Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and HowToCarGuy.com. Also, the most important thing in the whole wide world, have a wonderful day, everybody.